Okay, it's Monday, March 30th. Oh, it's not a very long line today. Well, it's still pretty long. And people are very closely packed together. I hope that sometime we can all get masks. That would be really nice. Where's that one here? Oh, right there. So that's usually Monday, it's a lot bigger than that. Right there. Later when we get into the taxi, I'd like to have a conversation with you guys, with my wife, and explain something, current situation that's happening in China right now. My wife has a sister that lives in China, and of course, my wife is Taiwanese, and just want her to tell us what she told me yesterday. I don't remember all of it, so I'd rather it come from her instead of from me. Right now, for the last couple months, it's rather expensive, but just for safety, my wife is pregnant, so I've been taking taxis to work and home from work with her so that we have less of a risk of being around infected people on buses or MRTs, if there are any, which I'm sure there probably are. Hello. So, there's another pharmacy up here I'm going to take a video of. I'm just going to do a single shot, and then after that, maybe if you have time, we can have a talk, okay, babe? Yeah. And see how things are going there with your sister. So, just to keep talking a little bit, something that we're going to talk about is not only are the borders of China closed to anybody who's a foreigner. If you're not Chinese, you're not allowed in, which is probably fine right now for most foreigners. Except for it does inconvenience some people. Some people live there, they have houses there, they have lots of possessions, their money's there, and I'm sure they would like to come back home, because home is where you lay your head. All right, this is the other pharmacy. Let's look at the line here. This line goes, this is the long line. That goes all the way around the corner to the Wawaji. A Wawaji is like a crane machine place. But, okay. Well, what about the foreigners that are already in China and they're stuck in China? How are they being treated? I've been seeing some reports out that a lot of foreigners, if you're a foreigner, you're not allowed to even enter places like restaurants. There's videos online that you could probably YouTube rather easily of people, like one woman has, she sounded like she was from India, but I could be wrong. And her husband and her daughter is Chinese, and they were allowed into the restaurant to eat, but she had to stay outside. She was not allowed in the restaurant. Now, talking about that, let's ask my wife. You have a sister that lives in China. We don't need to say where, but it's probably one of the bigger cities. Yeah. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah, one of the bigger cities, and I don't want to mention her name, and I don't want to mention anything too much about her, or I don't even want to mention her job, because well, Wu Mao could be looking at this, and God knows if this ever gets back to the Chinese government and they could find anything on her, she'll probably accidentally get coronavirus and die really swiftly. So not saying that would happen, I'm just saying it's definitely a possibility. What's going on with your sister? She the other day, what happened? Her and her husband tried to go somewhere?
Yeah, sure. They went to the shopping mall.
Okay, to a shopping mall?
And there is a lady works for the shopping mall. They didn't let her come in. They say that only Chinese.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know how clear you can hear her. My wife's voice is a lot lower than mine. I hope that you can hear it. But she was saying that her and her husband went to a. What's this? Traffic. They went to a shopping mall, and they would not allow her in. And the reason that she said that she was not allowed in was because she's not a Chinese national. She's considered.
Even she showed her MTP.
I don't know what that is. Don't say too much.
Mainland traveler
pass.
of permit.
Oh, permit? Okay, so she has a mainland traveler permit. That's what my wife said. And she even showed that.
That's for Taiwanese residents.
Oh, for Taiwanese residents. And they said that she was not allowed in because she is not Chinese, that she's Taiwanese, which is actually should be really great news for Taiwan, because if you're in China right now and you're Taiwanese and you are being treated as an outsider, then that goes to show even further to the rest of the world, because Taiwan and China both already know that Taiwan is not part of China. And that further goes to show exactly how much different we are. So much so that you can't even go shopping or maybe go to a restaurant. Or I've seen places about going into gyms and have signs on the wall saying, "Oh, our foreign friends. The government says that we're not allowed to let any foreigners in until a certain time, probably yet to be determined." My wife can read really good Chinese. My Chinese sucks. I can't read at all. So that's an update about that. Even as a Taiwanese, even though they like to yell and scream that, oh, Taiwan is part of China, Taiwan is part of China, but if you're a Taiwanese in China right now, you're being treated just as shitty as any other foreigner. That's something that's really concerning and really worrying to me, because here's the thing: if you're not allowed to go into a restaurant, if you're not allowed to go shopping or buy food, then what are you supposed to do? Just roll over and die? I'd like to know if anybody has any more information on that, even though, remember, nobody's watching this video. If anybody could send me any information on that, if anybody ever does watch this video, how exactly are you being treated in China right now? I will not post any private information or anything on YouTube or Facebook or anything about it. That will be just for my records and something I could talk about and share with the world for you, unless you wanted me to share it. Anyways, I wish you guys well. As you can see, everything's going around normally in Taiwan. Seems like most of the world is locked down. Here we have normal traffic roads. This is a normal Monday. Everybody's riding to work, getting ready for a day. This week is a good week. We only have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday are holidays. It's not necessarily a good holiday. It's tomb sweeping day, right? Or days. Yeah. And what do you do during tomb sweeping? I know, but can you say for me?
Normally we go to the mountain to wash our God and a censer.
And what? And also clean the tombs of your relatives that have passed away, right?
Yes.
You go and you clean those up, and any grass or anything that's growing there, you cut that away and you tidy it and sweep it up and make it look nice.
Yes.
And then my wife said go to the mountain to worship.
This year, because of coronavirus happened, so we don't plan to go to.
Yeah, this year because of the coronavirus. I hope that everybody can hear you, and I'll find out later. And then I don't edit my videos because I spend too much of my time learning other things. I'm sure I'll get around to it one of these days, but at least you know that what you're getting is unedited, uncut, and raw. Giving it to you raw, dog. So Taiwan's doing great. I love this place. This is a great country. It has its problems. You have problems getting some face masks. Like you see the lines there in the morning. By the time lunchtime rolls around, somebody that does have a job, if they go to a pharmacy, they'll just be told, oh, all the face masks are gone. But there's other ways around that. We're a lot of cloth face masks are pretty much readily available, and you're allowed to, like, if you have somebody who's retired or old, like a mother or a grandmother, they're allowed to take one other person's health card with them.
Yes.
Yeah, one other person's health card with them, and then they could get masks for themselves and one other person. So that's a bit of progress. And earlier, when this first started, the government started regulating the face masks, we were only getting 2 a week, but then because Taiwan started producing, first 10 million, and then the last I heard 13 million face masks today. So now they're giving us three a week if you can get them. I'm very happy that that Taiwan is sending, what is it, like 10,000 face masks a week or something to America in exchange for, I don't want to say the exact number, but it's not
100,000.
Oh, 100,000, not 10,000. Thank you, baby. 100,000 face masks a week in exchange for other medical supplies and safety equipment that's needed in hospitals. So that's a good exchange. China got really pissed off at that exchange, but they get pissed off at everything. I mean, just like right now, you're hearing in American media about this fear that Asian people and Chinese people will be discriminated against if it was called the Wuhan virus, or it was called, like, what did Trump say, the Chinese virus. I can understand that to a point, except for racism is generally not accepted in Western countries or Western society as a whole, and is always condemned. However, I am worried about how all foreigners of every country who are stuck in China right now are being treated, because they're not offered that same liberty. We all know how China censors things. Right now they had what's the doctor that caught coronavirus and died? I'm sure that's a convenient thing that happened for China. Not for China, but for the CCP. If I say China, mostly I'm talking about the CCP. They'll be swift. If anybody says anything or tries to leak out any information from China, they'll be swift to take that down and censor it and cast a punishment on people. But however, anything that's blatantly false news but points the eye away from China, such as, this virus came from America or American troops or some stupid crap like that, then it's just left up and left to be spread around. So let's see here. I think I'm going to let you guys go for now. I hope that this video helps a little bit, and you could see how Taiwan's doing. And any other thing that I know that I can try and talk about, I'll try and say any information that I can that's accurate. I don't want to report any false news, so I'm not just going to go rant and rave. This needs to be an accurate preservation of history, exactly what happened, and that's what I've been doing at my home. I have so many articles, so many screenshots, so many papers that I've downloaded, PDFs of medical journals, and that I've been studying. I've spent in the last 2 months over 700 hours going through reading and reading news articles and watching videos and trying to sort this thing out. So let's see how it goes, and I wish everybody luck. The whole world needs to be careful right now. I hope everybody stays safe and wash your hands and isolation if possible. I mean, I know that sounds hypocritical considering I'm in a taxi surrounded by so many cars going to work, but that's because our country, the country of Taiwan, is not being hit as hard as other countries because of the intelligence of the Taiwanese government. They've had problems like this before when it comes to SARS and stuff, and they already have it down. Instead of forgetting about it as soon as it passes, it's definitely kept there. They stay prepared. And this is a great country. Everybody who lives here, Taiwanese or foreigner of any country, should be very, very proud and very, very happy that they live in this country right now. So I'm going to sign off, and I wish everybody the greatest. And peace out, stay safe.